Good afternoon, traders and investors. It's Will back with another one. Hope you guys are doing well. So a bit of a muted day today on the markets here. As you guys can see, SPY down slightly 0.15% and the QQQ's flat. So are we going to have further corrections through Friday? Don't forget non-farm payrolls on Friday, important day. Or are the markets going to continue to grind higher? We're going to check out some charts and see if we can get some clues. However, I do want to show you the account first because in about 7 minutes, Interactive Brokers is doing some maintenance on their website. It's going to be down for an hour. So I figured I should show you guys sooner than later because if not, if I do it at the end of the video, it will be offline. So checking on the account, we are now good. Oops, so there's a position. So 56.57%, very, very good. Another little update from pretty much Monday after the 4th of July. Happy 4th of July to all my American friends, by the way. Hope you guys had a great time. As you guys can see, we are still net outperforming the indexes here. A SPY just over 16% year to date. This account here up around 56.5%, outperforming the NASDAQ as well, fairly decently too, right? 56 here. NASDAQ only up about 32.61. And if I were to go to our QQQs here, QQQ year to date is up 40%, so outperforming that as well. Very, very good performance. Very, very happy with it. Can't really say anything. These are the positions here that we have for the remainder of the week. So as you guys can see, we have some AMDs that I picked up last Friday, the 110s. Those are pretty much 60% off. So 60% unrealized profit. Very, very good. BABAs that I wrote today, the 81s. BABA did a good job today of recovering losses. So those are up almost 60% as well. One end phase here, kind of break even here. Got the 160s. End phase was a little down today, so I made the most of it. Keep in mind, I do already have assigned shares that I will probably be getting out of should end phase remain over 162.5. We do have some covered calls here, so we're all good on that. Googles I did pick up last Friday as well. They're almost worthless, 85% unrealized. Nikes that I picked up last Friday, or was it Friday or Monday? Regardless, they are now in the money. So Nike now trading around 107-ish, slightly under 107. Could potentially be assigned Nikes at the 108 strike here. Not too worried though, because that is just a first entry level position here. 107, as you can see, this is my sweet spot zone. If it does get into this area, I'll write more. But if I get assigned this week, I think that it should remain fairly close. I'll be able to write calls fairly easily. Not too worried about that at all. And a little Tesla position. Since you guys saw the video on Monday, I was out of a Tesla position on Monday already, so decided to add a little bit of that 265s for Friday. So now guys, without further ado, let's get into what happened today in the markets. So SPY currently grinding up here towards our resistance area. This is the main area of resistance, 450 to 460. Let's look at the heat map, see how SPY performed as a whole today. As you guys can see, most names on the day were down, not down by tremendously enough, by a tremendous amount, but we're still down, right? See some slight losses here in healthcare. Financials also didn't do too good other than our payment processors. The banks were down today. And you can see that most of our technology sector, namely semiconductors, were down by a lot, right? So semiconductors with basically the worst performers of the entire day here today with our basic materials segment. But out of the larger segments here, semiconductors not performing too well. Our major tech names, Google, Meta, Amazon, Tesla, did fairly well. Apple and Microsoft didn't really do too much at all. Apple was down almost 1% today. On the one-day relative performance, you can see, guys, most sectors were indeed red. So the market was upheld by a few large names today, lucky for it. But as a whole, the market was pretty red today. 1 week relative performance, so from Wednesday to Wednesday, we are still green, however, on most of our sectors. So what does that mean? Guys, I'm really looking for this level here, right? This level here, if we zoom out, what is it? It is this supply zone right here from back last March. So this is going to be the key resistance area before all-time highs. So I'm looking for a potential rejection if we do grind higher. Very, very simply today, though, doesn't change much compared to our Monday's analysis. We are just looking if we pull back for a higher low, slight gap to be filled here. Anything above 431.30 is just going to be your higher low for continuation potentially of the uptrend. Until the bears show me something, this is still a bullish chart, right? Keep in mind, if we do grind higher, we could still, tomorrow and Friday, we could just push up higher. If we do, just keep an eye out. 450 is a very, very big resistance area. QQQs, pretty much same thing as SPY here, right? Anything above 358, is just going to be hunting for a higher low in case we do pull back. Keep an eye on this 12 EMA here. I do like this chart. No real red flags yet from our QQQ bulls, right? On the weekly, as of last week, very bullish weekly close. So stands to argue that we do have some good momentum into this week. And we haven't really lost too much on the week. Today was flat, but Monday was a relatively good day, right? So that being said, we are just looking for a break of our previous resistance, 373. If we can get that done Thursday and Friday, perfect. We'll be looking higher. Where exactly? Well, this is the area, same areas on SPY, right? For on SPY on the weekly, right? But QQQ is there first, right? This is our early April 2022. So if we break that, guys, the next resistances become closer to the all-time highs. So keep an eye, guys. This key area here is our last line of defense before the all-time high zone. So it stands to argue we either break that, or if we pull back, we're just looking for a daily lower high. Anything above 358 will do that. XLF financials doing a good job here, poised to stay within the range, still above our 200-day EMA, right? This blue line here, that should be pretty visible now, guys, right? I know it wasn't in the past, but what are we looking for? Same thing. Anything above 3250 will just be a daily higher low on the pullback here. What are we looking for on XLF? We are looking for the weekly breakout. Similar to IWM, I always overlay these charts on top of each other. IWM always already got its break above this zone. This pattern is exactly the same. So we will be looking for continuation of a weekly uptrend, right? The weekly higher low is set 3250. So stands to argue that since we are in our weekly upswing move, that we are looking for further continuation. Financials not with that great of a day today, but bulls did a great job of bringing it back into the end of the day here. As you can see, started off with a gap down, kind of closed it, and then we kind of held it towards the end of the day. Love to see it, right? So bulls looking great. If we can get through this resistance area, I would love to see something like this, potentially sit on it and then come above. But great support by the moving averages down below. If we do dip below, guys, as I said before, anything above 3251, just hunting for a daily higher low. Keep an eye on the moving averages. XLV, really no change whatsoever, right? We are still in a tightening range, looking for the weekly breakout, more specifically this weekly breakout, right? So if we do get a break here of 133.20, that in my opinion would be good for a weekly breakout, really looking to bring this consolidation area to an end, right? What does this look like? This looks like Costco before the breakout, right? So these patterns tend to break hard when they do break in a direction. In my opinion, I'm going with a bullish lean because that's what the rest of the market is showing us. So as long as we can hold steady, hold these moving averages here, guys, key levels, right? Do not want to break below 130. Really do not want to break below 130. If we hold above and grind higher and push above the 133.20 level that I was talking about before, I do think that we get some decent continuation into the higher levels. We're talking 135 and above. IWM here, already pretty much drew it out on the chart, so you know what we're looking for. This is a weekly uptrend, right? We're struggling here with our little double top area. Let's look at the daily double top area here at 189-ish, right? So what are bulls looking for at this point, guys? On the daily, one day at a time, right? Is what they say. Daily, we're looking for a daily higher low, guys. Anything above 180 is going to be a daily higher low. Obviously, you want the bulls to kind of keep as much of this move as possible. You don't want to see them cut super deep because this opens up the scenario for a potential tightening range. And if you're looking for the breakout on the small caps, that's not what you want to see. So I'm hoping that bulls are able to hold this 12 EMA, put in somewhat of a temporary low here, and then start and break above. But really got to keep an eye on it, guys. 189 here is the level to be watching to the upside for IWM. And obviously to the downside, guys, well, it's this green zone here. You really don't want to see them come super, super low. If they do, I will be writing options in this area here, right? But what we want to see as bulls in this sector, if we want to see follow through, you want to see them hold this 12 EMA, then go up and smash this previous resistance so we can just continue our weekly push to the upside. Dow Jones doing a good job here. I'll remind you, if you haven't seen the videos before, inverse head and shoulders is still intact, right? So what we're seeing here, kind of like IWM, we're kind of working towards this similar top area. Why? It's a very big resistance, guys. This has been resistance since November, right? This line here. So it shouldn't be a surprise that bulls are having a tough time of breaking it. But what does that mean? If they do break it, I really think that we'll get some good continuation of the upside, and it'll be really tough for them to then recapture this area. Very, very, very big area of resistance. So I need to see bulls with a break of 34,500. Need the value names to participate. They've been doing a good job recently of putting in some nice movement on most our value name charts, most of our Dow Jones names, but just need that one extra push. What are we looking for here, guys? On the daily, anything above 33,600 is just going to be a daily higher low. So this can be argued to be a bull flag right now. Keep an eye on this 12 EMA. You obviously don't want to see something like this. That would indicate further potential downside and a loss of our potential weekly inverse head and shoulders pattern here, right? So wanting to keep this alive, guys, next 1 to 2 weeks is crucial on the Dow Jones, in my opinion, right? Let's go to crypto real quick. Bitcoin finally with a daily close, above 31,000, okay? This day right here on Monday was our first ever close above, well, not ever, but you guys know what I mean, right? Year to date. First ever close recently above 31,000. What did they do right away? Gave it back. They were not ready and willing to break our big area of resistance here in a significant fashion, right? We're not able to close above our last line of resistance. So at this point, what am I looking for? Is exactly that, need to push through this area in a convincing manner. Bulls are doing a great job of holding on here, right? They have regained somewhat of our daily uptrend here. I would stand to argue the line in the sand level for me, guys, the line in the sand level, 24,500. Need to hold that level if you want to keep this move alive, especially on the daily. Good job of holding that 12 EMA though, but what do I want to see on the weekly? This currently is a weekly bull flag. Weekly bull flag. As long as we're above this little green box of resistance here, of support now at this point, is a weekly bull flag. So I like to see bulls holding the higher levels here for then potentially lining up with a push with potentially the rest of our markets or maybe some crypto specific news. But bulls are looking good, guys. Bulls are looking good. Keep in mind, monthly uptrend is all but confirmed at this point. What we need to see, break of this 31,500 level here that we're looking at, need to see it. If we do see a break of 31.5 with closes above, I do think that our next leg up is going to be started. Next target's 37, in my opinion. Apple, let's go on to our major big names. Apple down today again, right? So Monday and today with a bit of a negative day here, right? What are we doing? Potentially filling this gap that was between Thursday and Friday, right? So potential little bit of a gap fill here on Apple, but really, I mean, anything, guys, above 183.50 is just going to be your daily high or low. And as I've said before, not going to spend too much time on charts like this. As long as we don't lose the 12 EMA on the daily, I cannot say anything, right? When we do lose it, look what happens. Lose a 12 EMA, snap above. 12 EMA, snap above. Lose it, snap above, right? For earnings this time. Lose it, it can't even get more than 2 days. Can't even get more than 2 days. And when it does, they can never confirm a daily downtrend. So until we break below the 12 EMA and confirm a daily downtrend, I cannot zoom out to the weekly chart and expect further consolidation. That's just how it is. So Apple, most important chart on the daily is the daily for me at this point. All-time highs still, right? So if you're a bear, you will need to see loss of the 12 EMA, retest, break below for our first daily downtrend at this point in like 4 months, right? 4 months is what it would be. So keep an eye on that. If not, bulls are in full control of all major time frames here. Amazon, once again, curling, right? It really looks like it wants to curl over at this area here. Big area of resistance here. We're kind of trapped. I'll draw this little box here, kind of trapped between the 127.25 area and the 131.50 area. So line in the sand level for me, guys, is 127.24. If you lose this, you really kind of start to potentially lose the daily uptrend and open up for a daily downtrend. But one day at a time, have to lose the 12 EMA. Facebook did something similar to this recently, right? If you want to remove this line here, guys, look what happens here, right? Okay, so you get a bullish triangle, okay? These are usually bullish patterns. They are usually, you can even extend it all the way here. These are usually bullish patterns. The bullish triangle, usually when the bulls consolidate like this at the highs in a overall uptrend, right? You can get a break to the upside. I wouldn't be surprised if it happens. My buy zone is all the way down here for writing puts, right? But the line in the sand level, 127.50. Keep an eye on that. If we lose 12 EMA, and if we lose this level right here, you open up the doors to potential daily downtrend. It's a good thing there's a lot of other supports down here, but you potentially open up the door then for just a weekly pullback, right? Would be very, very healthy. Tons and tons of space. But at this point, guys, the bulls are in full control. So two levels, 131.80 for the break to the upside, or 127.50 for the break to the downside, which would open up potentially a daily downtrend. Google doing a very good job today, guys, within my box, right? You guys all remember, if you guys have been watching the videos now, you remember this box. Huge area of resistance here has now been a huge level of support now for the last 5 weeks, and we're rejecting from it. That's why I like this initial play on the short puts that I had on Google. So Google bulls doing a great job here of reversing the daily trend. It was in a daily downtrend, right? As we were saying Monday, what are we looking for? Daily higher low and push above, right? So low, higher low, confirmed, right? High, higher high. We are now in a confirmed daily uptrend. Google bulls doing a great job of recapturing the daily uptrend, closing above our 12 and 26 moving averages here. Looking good. MACD also looking like it kind of wants to come back to positive side. RSI as well. Wiz looking like it wants to come back to the positive side. So Apple, Microsoft potentially take a breather. Google may be lined up perfectly. But guys, now at this point, anything above 119.70 is going to be your daily higher low. Obviously, it's very, very soon because we just made the daily uptrend. So targeting this resistance area, right? But if we break to the downside, significant way, 117, watch out for 117, because then that would negate potentially a weekly bull flag, right? So this is a weekly bull flag. I'm pretty sure that the weekly higher low is set compared to here, right? Pretty sure that it's being set because we have broken above last week's high, right, already. So really need to watch out for that level, guys. It's going to be a hugely crucial level for Google, in my opinion. But at this point, I think the weekly bear flag is confirmed, and we are due for at least a push into our resistance area around the 127. So congratulations, Google bulls. Microsoft dealing with all-time high resistance, right? So kind of putting in here a weekly range, tightening range at the top of the extended move, right? Doing a great job on Microsoft. Microsoft lost the 12 EMA, but recaptured it real quick. So we're playing around here, really playing around. This is a pattern that potentially worries me. Daily head and shoulders potential, right? It's not fulfilled until we really break this neckline. But guys, the important level for me at this point, 328.85. If we lose that, we'd be losing 12 and 26 EMA for the first time since before earnings. Notable, has to be notable to you if that happens. If that happens, open the door to weekly consolidation. Tons of space for it. Bulls control the monthly and the weekly at this point. So we are in an overall uptrend, but keep an eye out on that for the downside, right? Very important level here, 328.63. If we push higher, then you're looking at this, right? The bulls control everything. They're trying to set a new daily uptrend at this point, okay? Meta with the pattern break. Look, bullish triangle, as you see, as we were showing you before, right? Bullish triangle, break to the upside. Meta, absolute monster. If I erase this right here, you'll see that we never lost the 12 EMA. Never lost this 12 EMA line, right? So bulls are in absolute full control at this point. 278.50 is going to be our line in the sand level. Anything above that is just a daily higher low for further continuation here to the upside. Upside targets for Meta in this situation, guys, the end of the gap fill, 300 to 315. This area here, if you don't see the gap, you have to zoom all the way back here, right? Zooming in on this target area, you will see that the gap is fully filled once we really break up to 315 area. So 300 to 315 is going to be the last area of the gap fill to be had, right? So Meta doing a great job. I'm not really going to give downside targets. Because we never even had a chance of losing the 12 EMA, right? So just keep an eye on this line here, guys. This is a very, very important line of support to the upside, 300 to 315. NVIDIA here, okay, between these two lines, right? So what's happening right now is we're looking at a potential tightening range, to be honest with you, right? So daily uptrend is set, but as you can see, guys, we gave up a bit of it today. Now, we did set a new high compared to Monday's high, right? So it is still a daily push, but as you can see, tail end of the day, semiconductors were not performing well today at all, and NVIDIA kind of got dragged down with it. So what does this open the door to? It opens the door to a tightening range, best case scenario. Worst case scenario, it opens up the case to a daily downtrend, right? So high, potential lower high if this does happen, right? Break below would be a daily downtrend. As of now, it is still a daily uptrend, right? But need to either break one of two areas, 403 or our all-time highs, 439. You will get your answer. If you break 439, you're still in a daily uptrend. If you break this level here, 403, daily downtrend, that opens the door for potential further weekly consolidation, right? So two very important levels. Don't want to get too ahead of myself, but if we do potentially break 403, 404 to the downside here, right? It opens the door for further weekly consolidation. Would still be a weekly bull flag, right? Would still be a weekly bull flag because our weekly higher low is all the way down here at 375. That's why I have that line there. So crucial next few days on NVIDIA, in my opinion. Tesla, what an absolute monster Tesla is, right? Doesn't even try and fill the gap fill after earnings. So beautiful day on earnings. I covered that in my Monday's video, right? Have done very, very well on Tesla this year, and congratulations to all of our Tesla bulls. Anything above 241 is just a daily higher low for consolidation. Keep in mind, we do now have support here. That's why it's rejecting from 275 when it tries to go there, right? So horizontal support here, but if we break below that, keep in mind, slight gap to be filled here from our deliveries number. If we do break down below from here, anything above 241 is just a daily higher low. Bulls are in full control of this chart. If we do start pulling down a little bit, potentially towards this 12 EMA, I will be looking to write puts around this area here, because it would surprise me if we would lose this area, right? How do you know that an uptrend is potentially finishing? Is when you set a daily higher low like this and it barely pushes above and then starts retracing right away. Then you can ask for the rollover. But with so much space, I'll be very surprised if we do something like this, right? Anything's possible, but in my trading experience, 10 plus years at this point, a decade of trading experience, when you put in so much space, your likely scenario becomes a daily higher low. Thereafter, it can do something like this, right? But if it's dipping down all the way to my 12 EMA here, I will be looking to write puts in this area here. My optimal zone is all the way down there, but that's it. Levels to the upside is going to be anywhere between 290 and around 315. How do you derive those levels? Well, you have to look up here, guys. It's the big supply and resistance zone in this area here. Obviously, 300 is a big psychological number, right? But this whole area, right, 293 all the way up to 310, 311, right, is going to be a big area of resistance. So if the weekly bulls push it up into there, I think that that's potentially where we may get a weekly reset here, where we may be able to set a weekly higher low. But for now, bulls are in absolute full control, guys. I know there's a little gap right here, right? But it doesn't mean that we can't do something like this and then come down and fill a gap, right? So remains to be seen, but of now, bulls are in absolute full control. Tesla's a monster. I'm not writing anything close to these levels, right? Because we're getting kind of top-ish here on this move on a relative basis, right? It's been very, very good. So that is what I'm looking for on Tesla. I want to cover a few more. AMD here with a negative day. Semiconductors as a whole, guys, watch out, right? Semiconductors, watch out for the head and shoulders pattern, right? I'm not saying that it's necessarily going to happen, right? Because on the weekly, we're still very strong, but the daily is looking like a big head and shoulders pattern. Just keep that in mind, okay? For our whole semiconductors industry, I know we're consolidating here, very, very tight little weekly range here, right? Still tons of space, but we're now at the all-time high areas, right? If you look, very close to all-time highs on semiconductors. Can we get a potential pullback? That's all going to be reliant on NVIDIA, mostly because it's the heaviest weight in this sector right here. But semiconductors as a whole did not have a good day, right? ON Semiconductor, big red move today, 4% to the downside, right? If you look at Intel as well with a big minus 3.3 day to the downside here. Micron as well had a very decent red day, right? 288 coming into my supply zone, coming into my demand zone here, right? So pretty much all of our players on the semiconductors had a fairly red day. AMD was actually one of our least red of them all, right? So AMD, you guys know that I do have an option here at the 110 level. Looking out, guys, weekly bears, our daily bears are in control at this point, right? We were looking for the daily bulls to put in a good enough move to potentially open up the possibility for a daily higher low, but it is a daily downtrend. So the bulls need to start putting in some stops soon, or you'll see some continuation here on the weekly move as well. If we do get some continuation to the downside on most of these semiconductors, AMD will be coming in to the lower 100 level, where I will be even more interested to be writing even more options on it, because I think that it is a good deal at that point. But keep an eye, guys, 107.30 is the line in the sand level for me. Bulls still have a decent amount of space to stop this move and potentially reset for a daily uptrend reversal here. Moving averages acting as support, but the next 2 days, guys, will be fairly crucial for a lot of semiconductor names. PayPal, great day today. Why? Payment processors, look at Visa, look at MasterCard, right? American Express also with a very good day. Square, what did Square do? Didn't even look at it today. Square with a very nice green day today as well. So PayPal, obviously with a nice green day. What are we looking for? Break of 69.20. If we get a break of 69.20, the daily uptrend is continuing to the upside. Gonna love it here, guys. If we start breaking out of 69.20, right, really close to gap fill territory, want to see them push and cover this gap, guys. Beautiful daily uptrend here. So I'm going to give the bull some time and some space. Anything above 65.77, if we do pull back, is just going to be for the potential of a daily higher low. This is a nice daily uptrend. It's also the continuation of a weekly move higher, right? So would love to see the gap fill on PayPal in these levels. Bulls are in nice control here on the short-term time frames here. So gonna be hoping here that in the next few days, they can crack this 69.10 area and get us up into gap fill territory. And the last one here, Palantir. Palantir, surprisingly, great move on Palantir, guys. On the fibs here, look at this recapture, right? 61.8 is the level to watch out for here. They are almost coming back above it. If the bulls regain even more territory here, guys, very likely that the scenario becomes just a daily higher low and recapture of the daily uptrend. The bears put in a solid move, but the bulls have now created so much space that if we do pull back a bit more, still opens the door for daily higher low and push higher. Could they be doing it right now? It's possible too, right? This could be just a daily bull flag, right? No, they don't want to give back the 12 EMA. So it could just be a daily bull flag and push higher, but that is what I'm looking for on Palantir. The line in the sand level for me, 1366. Anything above that is going to be the daily higher low at this point, right? Keep an eye on the 12 EMA. Most important thing, 12 EMA. And if we push this 1580, I really think that we're going to start revisiting here our 52-week highs. How does it look on the higher time frames? Looks like, guys, that the weekly higher low is potentially set at our 1370. That's how you know, right? Very nice week last week. So if we do get a nice continuation here into this week, pretty sure that the weekly higher low now is set at this point. going to be looking for our 52-week highs as resistance, $16.89, $17. For continuation, you guys know at this point, monthly uptrend is a thing. Could they get, if they do 2 more profitable quarters, they become part of those stocks that may be eligible for S&P 500 inclusion. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video today. It's all the stocks that I wanted to cover pretty much. And I will see you guys tomorrow. If you liked the video, consider liking, consider subscribing, leave a comment below if you have any question, guys. I appreciate how much engagement you guys have had with the videos recently. I really, really love it. I thank you for the views, guys. You guys are beautiful. Happy trading tomorrow. I will see you after the market close as per usual. Take care and have a great night, guys.